Ontario's legendary stock car builder and driver, Junior Hanley, began his march for the Bud Triple Crown, a three-race portion of the GM National Stock Car Series, with a victory and the first jewel at Motorsport in the GM Parts 150. Today, the second jewel and a possible $5,000 bonus for the familiar number 72 if he can win. So the march for the Bud Triple Crown will continue at the GM Pro Shop 150. This is the GM Motorsport Hour, brought to you by General Motors of Canada Limited and GM Parts, the expert choice, and Sony, the one and only. Defending champion 01 Randy McDonald is finding 1991 to be an uphill battle to repeat his GM Motorsport National Stock Car Series Championship. The season opener saw 01 blow a tire on turn 1 and be penalized a lap for forcing an intentional yellow, resulting in a 15th place finish. The second race of the season, the Bud Triple Crown opener, had McDonald continually challenging Junior Hanley for the lead, only to be knocked out of contention again on turn 1. This time, Robbie Crouch clips him from behind, resulting in a 16th place finish and 13th overall in the GM Motorsport National Stock Car Championship standings. Despite these early setbacks, the defending champion maintains an optimistic outlook.
Our strategy of the first race, as you know, it's 10 races, and we just wanted to have really good finishes and a few more wins this year. Unfortunately, we got caught in a couple incidents, got a flat tire, and really got way behind. Like, we were running 13th in points after a couple races. So our strategy now is just to pick them off one by one. We still want to win some races, but the big thing is to do what it takes to get the points championship back.
Meanwhile, number 72, Junior Hanley, finds himself on top of the GM Series National Stock Car Series standings with a third place finish in the season opener and a victory in the first jewel of the Triple Crown of the GM Parts 150. Junior's series strategy is quite basic.
Well, you can win a series and like run a few races and really run good, but like to run the whole series and run good every race is really hard. You gotta, you know, like sometimes you gotta finish for 10th or 12th or whatever, but you got to finish that series, and if you don't finish, you don't get any points. So it's really hard, you know. You can go one place and run really good, and the next place you ain't really that good. So you got to just finish wherever you need to finish. If you got to finish 15th, you finish 15th.
So today, the defending champion Randy McDonald and the major contender Junior Hanley do battle again. From Sanair Superspeedway in Saint-Pie, Quebec, the GM Motorsport National Stock Car Series continues with the GM Pro Shop 150. It is a glorious day here at Sanair Superspeedway in Quebec, just south of Montreal. Hello, I'm Jim Paulson. Mind you, the breeze is up today. Will that bother us at all, David?
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, the weather here is a whole lot better than it has been for the last 4 or 5 years here at Sanair. A gorgeous, sunshiny day. At the speeds these cars are running, they're used to a little breeze.
Now, Dave Moody and I are kind of gambling here on who's going to walk away with this one. Junior Hanley, our current point leader, has had some big wins here, David.
He has indeed, and he's a tough man to bet against. He's won 3 of the last 6 GM Series races here on the Sanair Mile. He's got a lot to run for here today. He's in the running for a $50,000 bonus if he can sweep all 3 legs of the Triple Crown.
Now, last year, our former series champion Russ Erlin won everything at this course. Can he do it again?
Oh, he certainly can, but he may be a bit rusty. This is only his third start of the 1991 season, but he's looked very fast early on today.
How about the local favorites, Jean-Paul Cabana or Claude Leclerc? Can they come through?
No question about it. Cabana wants a win here badly. He's never won on the Sanair big track. He's won a lot of races out back on the 3rd mile, but he wants this one today.
You know, the man who's not yet done much in this series is our reigning champion, Randy McDonald. I wonder what's up there. Maybe we can find out more in Gasoline Alley. Here's Eric Hollow.
Event number 3 here at Sanair has posed an interesting situation. Most of these teams raced yesterday at another track about 2 hours away. Now that was a short track. This is a super speedway, and the setups for the cars are completely different. Now some teams are fortunate enough to have 2 cars. Like Randy McDonald, this car was set up specifically for this track and ready to go. However, teams like number 48, Robbie Crouch, he's racing the same car today as he raced yesterday. Now, the team has been up pretty much all night long with no sleep, getting the car prepared. They hope that everything's A-OK. And by the way, Robbie Crouch yesterday finished 2nd, Randy McDonald 3rd.
Pace car leads the field through. Quick review after 2 races down. This year, Junior Handley on top, 222 points. Robbie Crouch not far away with 202. Where do they line up in today's grid?
The starting lineup for this afternoon's GM Pro Shop 150. Ready to go on the point, the defending champion, Randy McDonald in the GM Parts Pro Shop Chevrolet. Outside row 1, the current point leader, Junior Handley of Campbellville, Ontario in car number 72. Row 2, Harmon Beaver Dragon, the winningest driver in the history of this Sanair Tri-Oval. And outside, Kevin LePage of Shelburne, Vermont in the LePage Motorsports car number 21. Row 3, Russ Erlin of London, Ontario. He dominated this track a year ago. And on the outside, Ralph Nason of Unity, Maine in a Chrysler LeBaron, car number 10. Row 4, on the inside, Bonsai Gordy Bennett, the hard charger from Hamilton, Ontario in car number 67. And outside, the Nova Scotia champion, Rolly McDonald in the King Freight Line Chevrolet. Row 5, from Saint-Étienne, Quebec, Yvon Bedard in his Chevrolet Lumina, car number 9. Outside to start 10th, from Saint-Denis, Quebec, always a favorite here at Sanair, Roger Leperle in the 00. In row number 6, Robbie Thompson and the rookie Phil Pinkham. In row 7, Robbie Crouch, way back on the inside of row 7 to start 13th. Row 8 to Mark Lanphier and Rod Sutter from the province of Ontario. Rob Clark and young Derek Lynch in car number 15 on the outside of row number 9. In row 10, the Vermonter Dan Beatty and Ontario's Steve Monroe. Dave Eisen and Montreal's Sylvain Metivier side by side in row number 11. In row 12, the top rookie, Brad Layton in car number 1X, and the great John Paul Cabana, Claude Leclerc, and Bill Zardo Jr., 2 top threats here at Sanair. Steve Knowlton and Bill Zardo Sr. in row number 14, row 15 to the veteran Jeff Stevens and rookie John Greeding. In row 16, Alan Long from Carp, Ontario, and Maine's Dick Belisle, Danielle Gay in the 94, and New Hampshire's Buzzy Bezanson side by side in row number 17. Pete Rondo and Jim Wiersma in 18, Danny Knoll Jr. and Blair Bassett, then Donald Thiege and Tony Corcoran.
Field come through. The pace cars should move off. We do appear to be in order. I must say, a lot of our front runners are sprinkled liberally throughout this field, Dave.
Not a great success in qualifying for Robbie Crouch, the number 2 point runner in car number 48. He starts back into 13th position, but I don't expect him to stay there for long. Green flag is out. The field is racing in 1.
And you know what? For just a moment, Randy had some advantage, but bang, they get into corner 1, and look who's back in front, Junior Handley.
Junior Handley with the big horsepower edge in that Ford Thunderbird runs so strongly here at Sanair, and off the outside pole, Handley in the 72 is the leader, right behind the 01 of McDonald, then Kevin LePage and Beaver Dragon.
Oh, look at this already. Bill Zardo Sr. with some problems, saw some fuel there, I think, along pit row. We'll try to get back to that story.
That's a serious problem for the Z-Man. Bill Zardo dumping fuel on the racetrack, did not even take the green flag, so his hopes for victory are out the window. Here's Randy McDonald, right back to the inside of Junior Handley. I'll tell you what, Jim, these two fellas aren't wasting any time. They're going at it hook and tongs for the lead right now.
You know what, Junior dug in there because you could see the back of the car flip out just a touch, but I'll tell you, the flip out did not cause him any concern. In fact, it pulled him ahead of Randy.
Field sorted out single file with the exception of the front 2 who are going at it hot and heavy for the lead right now. Junior Handley in the white number 72, then the black number 01 of Randy McDonald, and Kevin LePage in the 21. Handley now has had enough of that side-by-side racing. He pulls away by 3 car lengths through the tri-oval.
Now quickly, let's point out it wasn't only Randy McDonald with an option on one of 2 cars. Junior Handley had the option of using his winner from Motorsport. He said, no, I'm going with a new car today here at Sanair.
A brand new automobile, fresh off the chassis jig at Port City Racing in the Midwest, and so far Junior Hanley has done a pretty good job shaking the bugs out of this new race car. No better place to debut a new machine than at the front of the pack at Sanair.
We mentioned on the opener the great success Russ Erlin has had on this course in the past, and I would say do not ignore this man. He's sitting back in fourth right now. He's won here before. He's got every confidence entering this run.
Russ Erlin in the fourth spot and closing ground right now on Kevin LePage as they work across his front straightaway. Then it's Beaver Dragon, Ralph Nason, Gord Bennett, and Roger LaPearl. The front runners wasting no time getting themselves into that lead draft.
Surprised at all to see Beaver Dragon drop off, but here's a two-time former ACT champion. No, let's go on board here with Kevin LePage.
Kevin LePage, one of our two in-car cameras in competition this afternoon in the GM Pro Shop 150. Derek Lynch will carry the other. And right now, Kevin LePage carrying the camera car to the front of the pack as he runs a very strong third right now.
I love it. Kevin LePage running third, giving us a nice view of the front runners. And our other camera on board with Derek Lynch running back around 15th will give us a totally different perspective a little later. Beautiful war up front here.
That's the battle for third. Kevin LePage and Russ Erlin. Erlin has gained a lot of ground in the last couple of laps, and now it looks like he's going to get the spot. Under braking, Erlin shoots by on the inside. Russ Erlin in the number 8 now is third. LePage drops back to fourth, and right behind them, Beaver Dragon.
Was that just a burst of power out of Erlin, or was it simply Kevin hit the brakes a little too early getting into the corner? He seemed to fall right off.
Well, I think Russ Erlin's car is handling just a little bit better than LePage's right now, and that allows Erlin to get deeper into the corner before he applies the brakes. And once he's got that advantageous low line, it's all over. Erlin, as a matter of fact, down below the white line on the inside of turn 4, takes advantage of Kevin LePage and takes over third.
Well, what can I say? We have a Trillium trio up front here out of Ontario and led by Junior Hanley.
Hanley, McDonald, and Erlin run first, second, and third. Then it's the American drivers, Beaver Dragon, followed by Ralph Nason. Here's Derek Lynch fighting his way out of the back of the pack, and the CanCom Value Vision machine gets a little bump for the driver in front of him. We've got a spin on the front straightaway, and the caution flag is out. A little bit of a bump and run there as Derek Lynch gets into the back side of the other automobile. There's a spin on the front chute, and the yellow flag is out.
It's that moment where we see the pace car one more time on the Superspeedway here at Sanair because of this incident.
The unlucky driver is Phil Pinkham from Saco, Maine in the 07 machine. You can see the black car in the middle of your picture just gets a little tap from behind, but over 110 miles an hour, that's all you need. The Griffin Motorsports car, very fortunate not to catch the wall.
And the Zardo team still do not have Bill out. They're looking for parts. Current race leaders, Junior Hanley, Randy McDonald, Russ Erlin, and we'll be back.
Welcome back to the Sanair Superspeedway. The problems continue for Bill Zardo Sr. He has yet to turn a lap on this racetrack as the fuel pours out of that automobile. Let's take another look at that incident in turn 3. The black car of Phil Pinkham down on the inside gets a bit of a love tap from young Derek Lynch in the 15. Pinkham goes around, but no contact made, and he's back on the tail of the field.
Race leaders Junior Hanley, Randy McDonald, Russ Erlin, Kevin LePage right in there. Beaver Dragon having a good run here today, and the pace car is off. We're set to get back to the green.
Junior Hanley and Randy McDonald 1 and 2, then Russ Erlin and Kevin LePage followed by Beaver Dragon. No change in the top 5, at least for the moment, but Russ Erlin really has turned up the steam. He is pressuring Randy McDonald hard for the number 2 spot.
Now, how badly can he dog Randy McDonald? He's certainly staying within a car length of him, and as a result of this little kerfuffle, I think Junior is beginning to pull away. In fact, this may be a tap coming up here from Russ.
Junior Hanley very strong off the restarts as he's on cool tires. That car handling very well. There's the 21 of Kevin LePage. He's got the best seat in the house for that battle between Erlin and the 01 of Randy McDonald. Right now, it's about a 5-car draft down the short chute headed for the tri-oval.
They come by the scoring tower one more time. Kevin dropping a little bit off the tempo. Might be wise for him this early in the run to just let these 3 have a go.
Well, you're exactly right. It is still early in this thing, but with the pace that Hanley, McDonald, and Erlin are setting, everybody else has got to keep up because on a track this fast, you can't let anybody get away because they'll run away from the field.
Tempo is extreme. Now, in the past, we have found at Sanair, Dave, that fuel can be a problem. Let's talk about what the gambles might be today or speculate on them.
Well, I don't expect that we'll see anyone try and go the distance. We've seen it in the past. Randy McDonald tried it twice last year, failed both times. Russ Erlin tried it last year, and he failed. The longest anyone has ever been able to go on a tank of gas here is 136 laps. In a 150-lap race, that leaves you standing at the altar. I don't expect we're going to see anybody gamble, but you never know. In a race like this, sometimes people get desperate, and they try and get themselves a little bit of an advantage.
Okay, Randy McDonald still fending off Russ Erlin. In the meantime, our front runners, all four, really becoming a little spread out. Oh, and then suddenly the front three tighten up one more time. It seems to happen in the corners, and then Randy has a bit of an advantage in the straightaway.
I think Junior Hanley definitely has the horsepower edge down the front chutes, and then Randy McDonald, as you can see, coming out of those corners, closes it right back up on the back bumper. This is a good matchup. Hanley a little bit stronger, McDonald a little bit quicker. Russ Erlin maybe the fastest of the three. He takes it to the outside through the tri-oval, heading for turn number 3. That's the hard way around, though. I think McDonald's going to hold him off.
I love this trio. You've got Junior Hanley going for the Ruby in the Triple Crown Honors this year. You've got Randy McDonald, who hasn't done anything yet in 1991. He's got to prove something today. Russ Erlin, he still feels this is his course.
Erlin has proven that over the last 12 months. He won 2 races here on the Sanair Mile last season. But Junior Hanley, perhaps with a bit more motivation than most, he's already won the first leg of the Triple Crown. If he can win here today, $5,000 in his hip pocket and a chance for $50,000 later on this year. And right now, Hanley looks like he's going to be tough.
Right up against that inside pit wall was Sylvain Métivier, one of the local favorites, obviously having a bad day today, the man out of Montreal.
Car is well off the pace, and he'll look to take it on pit road shortly. But these 3 gentlemen are certainly on the pace right now. 72 Hanley, the 01 McDonald, and I still think maybe the quickest of the 3 is Russ Erlin. He is looking inside, he's looking outside, but can't find the line against Randy McDonald. Kevin LePage and Beaver Dragon now have pulled themselves up, and it's a 5-car shuffle at the front.
And I think it's going to hold in that way for a little while. I don't know what's being gained here by the battle up front, except that those who are looking to be 3rd, 4th, or 5th, at least it gives them an opportunity to hang on to our 2 race leaders.
These drivers are feeling themselves out right now. They want to know who's strong and where they're running best on the racetrack. Russ Erlin looks like he's running equally well everywhere on the racetrack. And as we mentioned, Kevin LePage and Beaver Dragon are on the tail end of that draft. And right there, the 67, Gordy Bennett coming into it as we've got a yellow flag on the field.
Yellow flag out. That's going to tighten things up a little bit. Mind you, could not be any more tight. Between the front 5 and off to the side is, in fact, Donald Forte. You talk about the local Quebec favorites, another one with a problem today.
Don Forte, a rookie driver in the Isolon angle chassis Chevrolet, goes for a spinner in turn number 1. The safety crews are out. He kept it off the wall. This ought to be a pretty quick cleanup.
Okay, we're getting some of the speedy dry down in that segment of the course. Hopefully we'll not have... Oh, look at this. Donald is going right out of it. He's blowing something away here, Dave.
No question. He's probably got a motor problem under the hood of the 42. If they're putting down the speedy dry, he's dropped some fluid out there. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Forte in the black car, just getting it sideways coming through the corner. And boy, I'll tell you, some of those cars right behind had a very anxious moment. That's the 1X of Brad Layton as Forte spun it around, but everybody got by, only 1 car involved.
Field is under yellow. That means they're tighter on the front 5 here. Hanley, McDonald, Erlin, LePage, Dragon. What will happen on the restart? We'll be back.
We're back with the Bill Zardo pit crew. You got the car back out there.
Yeah, we drained it here, but we didn't let enough get out, so that went back to wanting to be safe because we were letting it out on the ground. Here we got a pail and let about 5 gallons out, got the water out, I think. But we had to take the filter out and throw it away, so I hope it's all right for the rest of the race. Get back out, get some points anyway, see what happens.
It's been a long day already for your crew.
Yeah. Well, we were having a good time earlier on, but with the pit competition and that, but oh, well, that's the way it goes, eh? I think it just quit again. I got to talk to him. Quit again.
Bob Cohen has got his hands full just trying to get Zardo Sr. happening today, but they had a brief moment of jubilation earlier.
Indeed they did. The GM Parts National Pit Stop Series, round number 2 coming in. It was Jean-Paul Cabana on top by 1 point over the Zardo team. Junior Hanley just another point behind in the number 3 position. But the Zardo crew, the all-on crane service team from Brampton, Ontario, turned in the best stop of the day. The GM Motorsport Series show car will go up in the air. 2 right side tires will be changed. The tank of gas added, and here comes Debbie Jo to clean the windshield as well. A little added touch for Bill Zardo Sr. And watch this crew go to work. Excellent stop. The right side tires are changed. Zardo is down and away in a winning time of 18.51 seconds. The Bill Zardo Sr. all-on crane service team from Brampton, Ontario. A happy bunch indeed as they take the victory in round number 3 of the GM Parts National Pit Stop Competition for 1991.
And a good-looking crew, I might point out. So after 3 races, Bill Zardo Sr. and Jean-Paul Cabana are tied at 49. Then Junior Hanley, Kevin LePage, Robbie Crouch a little further back. Round 4 should be very interesting.
Indeed it should, and we are set for a restart. Junior Hanley, Randy McDonald, Russ Erlin, the top 3, followed by Kevin LePage, Beaver Dragon, and Gord Bennett. The green flag is out, and once again, Jim, at the drop of the green, on cool tires on the restart, it's Junior Hanley able to pull away.
I'm curious what advantage again this top 5 may have. My prediction, I guess, is we're going to see the front 5 move away, but it's Junior Hanley who really moves away.
Well, so far today, it's been a 5-car race with Gord Bennett in the 67 trying mightily to catch up with that lead draft, but unable to do so. That caution flag may be the break that Bonsai Bennett needed, although the top 3 are beginning to break away once again. And again, it's Erlin trying to do it the hard way on the outside of Randy McDonald.
Nope, Randy scared him away. Russ Erlin decides better of it. Still a little too early in the event, but I can see Russ getting more aggressive. He's been showing that to us in 1991. As this race progresses, he'll suddenly begin to start gambling.
Sanair is like 2 different racetracks, as you can see from the inside of the Kevin LePage machine. Turns 1 and 3, very tight, hard left-hand corners, almost impossible to pass on the outside. But as you get out toward that high-speed tri-oval area, the outside line is the place to go. And there's Beaver Dragon showing exactly what we're talking about, ducking to the inside of LePage in turn 1 and taking the spot away.
Beaver Dragon, well, you talk about the veteran showing Kevin LePage how to do it properly. Look at this, we're just dealing, I think, with one of the back markers here. No,
that's Gord Bennett.
Behind Gord Bennett.
Bennett in the 67 ducking to the inside. Kevin LePage may be having some problems here. His first Dragon, and now Bennett drive underneath him. LePage coming right back at the man they call Bonsai Bennett through the tri-oval, but the 67 machine pulls away as they head for turn 3.
That caught me totally off guard, Dave. Now Bennett, I don't want to put him down. Here was our rookie runner-up, in fact, back in 1989, but boy, suddenly Bennett in 91 is becoming a factor.
Gord Bennett, a part-time competitor for the last couple of seasons on the GM Motorsport Series, but he is back full-time in 1991 with a brand new sponsor, Canada's Choice Motor Oil, and Bennett is really going at it. The lap traffic has thrown a monkey wrench into the works, and Bonsai Bennett going to the outside passes 2 cars. Here comes Erlin now. He takes advantage of Randy McDonald, traps McDonald in the box, and Erlin takes over second.
Here's that interesting foursome as they cut through now and down and into the front straight. Now Erlin seems to have an advantage, scoots through on the out. He goes high, very high, and it works.
He traps Randy McDonald behind the 94 of Daniel Gay and the 09 Robbie Thompson. Russ Erlin, the master, the veteran in traffic, put a perfect move on Randy McDonald.
You wouldn't think of that as a gamble at all at this point. He was up very close to the wall, in fact, on that, but the car held in beautifully. He looks solid as a rock at this point.
Russ Erlin had one option and one option only for getting by Randy McDonald. He hadn't had a lot of luck getting around McDonald on an open racetrack, so he outfoxed him in traffic, used those lap cars like a basketball pick move, forced McDonald to get out of the throttle, ran around him on the high side of the front straightaway.
I'm amazed at how beautifully that's worked for him, because Randy McDonald suddenly found himself trapped up here. Let's look at this. This is worth watching one more time. Here is Erlin, truly high.
The rolling roadblock in front, the 09 of Thompson, the 94 Danielle Gay, not running badly on the racetrack, but not running anywhere near as well as Russ Erlin and Randy McDonald. McDonald got boxed in. He now is back to third, but he's closing ground on Erlin once again.
Okay, Randy McDonald has made his moves around Gay and the gang now, so once more he gets to take chase on Russ Erlin, but again, there's a lot of traffic to deal with here.
And as those two have jousted back and forth for second and third, it's allowed Junior Hanley to break away. The number 72 machine with nearly a half straightaway in hand. Hanley crosses the line, now second and third, and again it's McDonald down to the inside, and he's going to get second back again.
Interesting here that again Russ Erlin took that high route, but this time it did not work. Randy gambled on low and inside, and he is now running in second place.
That's the battle of the day. All eyes in the grandstand are on these two Ontario drivers. Randy McDonald, the 1990 GM Series champion. Russ Erlin, the 89 GM Series champion. And with this kind of racing, you can see Erlin bobbles coming out of turn number 3, loses some momentum, and Randy McDonald, like a vulture swooping out of the trees, takes advantage of Erlin on the front chute to take the lead.
I wonder if Erlin isn't wondering here, tires maybe. In fact, yeah, the rear end slides a little bit out again. Of course, a lot of rubber is being laid down on this track, and things are getting a little slipperier on what is also a very hot and humid day here at Sanair.
It is indeed, and on a hot day like this, the tires get into the racetrack. They make things very greasy as the race goes along, and Russ Erlin, a victim of that just a moment ago. So now he is back in the number 3 position. McDonald second, and Junior Hanley, he's almost out of earshot as he and Randy McDonald have begun to break away. Junior Hanley by 2 car lengths is the leader, and McDonald now is closing in on him.
Junior Hanley looks like he's got everything in hand. I might add, the gang in Quebec are so excited about the fact that Junior Hanley is running in this series in 1991, and he's dominated. Oh, look at this, a flag is out.
We've got a car sitting backwards on the front straightaway. The leaders work past, and that's Bill Zardo Jr., who's really taken a shot on that outside retaining wall. As the day continues to go downhill for the Zardos, here's Junior Hanley in the pits. We'll get the story when we come back.
In the pit with Junior Hanley, the yellow caution flag came out just about the right time.
Yeah, it's just right. That should help us go to the distance now.
Did you change tires, just fuel?
We changed right sides, yeah.
Everything else running okay?
Yeah, the car's working good. We're just trying to get back out in front and lead it.
You can hold off McDonald, you can hold off Erlin.
Well, McDonald didn't pit, so we'll have to see what happens with him.
Is he going for the gamble?
He must be if he didn't come in. We don't have to worry now, though. We can go to the distance, so.
Junior Hanley then is all set up to run right to the end of this race. Here are the leaders, McDonald, Leclerc, and by the way, McDonald, Leclerc have not been in. Let's get Eric over to Randy's pit.
The yellow caution flag came out. It seemed like just at the right time, but you chose not to pit.
No, we're going to try and go the full race on our set of tires, and we're just trying to figure out our gas mileage right now, see how we're going to do. I think we're going to try and go right to the very end with the 1 tank of fuel and not stop at all. We'll just see whether we get another yellow, and we might stop in for a splash of gas, and that'll be it.
How close are you going to be?
It'll be really close. We think we need around 20 laps in yellow, and we've got 12 so far down. So we're hoping for a couple of more yellows.
Everything's okay with the car? Randy's happy?
Yeah, Randy's really happy. The car's running really smoothly. The brakes are working good for him.
Can you hold off Hanley?
Yeah, I think we can hold off Hanley. He came in for new tires, but he'll be quick for a couple of laps, but then he'll die off and level out. He was slowing up just as the yellow came out, and we were catching him then.
Randy McDonald choosing not to pit in that flurry of action here and trying to go the whole distance.
Okay, the little strategies are developing a little earlier than perhaps we had thought in this event. On this 85th lap, looks like we're going to go back to a green, and Randy again in front.
Randy McDonald off the outside pole, Claude Leclerc right behind him in second. The big question right now, how long can those two drivers on old tires hold off Junior Hanley with brand new right side sneakers? Randy McDonald and Claude Leclerc's strategy, at least right now, certainly flying in the face of history. They have tried in the past to go the distance and come up well short. And look, here's Junior Hanley now diving right to the inside of Claude Leclerc. Hanley in the 72 is up to second. I've got to believe that if Hanley can get in front of Randy McDonald, that strategy will go out the window. McDonald will pit for gasoline, pit for tires, and try and fight his way back through.
Randy McDonald leads at this stage and is in fact our reigning GM National Stock Car Champion. Exciting young man here in Quebec.
He is indeed, and Randy McDonald has not had the best of years so far. Let's get to know him a bit better now with Michael Charbon.
01 really is the appropriate number for the GM Motorsport National Stock Car Series champion, Randy McDonald. In 1990, Randy McDonald only won 1 race at Saint-Félicien, but with consistent finishes and a great car, Randy won the championship. In 91, Randy has committed to racing the full GM Motorsport National Stock Car Series. Now, he has some really tough competition with the likes of Junior Hanley and Robbie Crouch, but being the professional that he is, Randy contends that he will still take the championship a second time.
Well, once again in 1991, we've committed to running the entire ACT series, and it's a tough haul. It's a lot of money, and you got to have good family support because there's a lot of mental stress and a lot of physical stress. So in all, it works out better because you get built up a momentum. If you're just running the 10 races here in Canada, you know, you run one race and then you get a month off and then you run 3 in a row. So for us, against the other Canadian competitors, we have a little bit of an advantage because we're racing every weekend. We got a couple full-time people, and I think that really gives a bit of an advantage.
I measure it a different way than you did.
Yeah, in this series, when you have 2 cars, there's no advantage to bringing them both to the racetrack at the same day. They have a rule where you have to run the qualified car, so if you happen to crash your good car, you can't just go get the backup off the truck and get it in the race. So pretty much you have to still be careful and just count on running that one car for that race.
Obviously, I'm not Randy McDonald, but let me tell you, the perspective that I have from within this vehicle is one of awe. 500 horses, $100,000 worth of machines, sponsors, crews. It's a heck of a pressure on you. Now, hopefully in your rear view mirror, you've got the likes of Junior Hanley and Robbie Crouch. Plus all the heat and everything else, you've got to be a heck of an athlete and a champion. Randy McDonald fits the bill on both of those accounts.
In his first year, Rookie of the Year, then champion, and here he is. Can he hang on to it this year?
Yellow flag is out. We've got a car around in turn number 3. It's Ralph Nason, the veteran from Unity, Maine. In car number 10, that Chrysler LeBaron has tagged the wall on the outside of the racetrack. He's looking to bring things down on pit road. Looks like he's got some fiberglass damage on the left rear corner. Back under caution with McDonald, Hanley, and Leclerc at the front.
We're back at Sanair, and now Claude Leclerc has made his move. He's finally decided to grab the pit stop at that, while it drops him from 3rd back to 10th place.
10 cars remain on the lead lap, so Leclerc now is the final car on the lead circuit, back in 10th. And there's the only man that is yet to pit. Randy McDonald in the GM Parts Pro Shop machine with 54 laps remaining. May have to go the distance now, but the big question, can he hold off Junior Hanley? The green flag is back out, and within a corner, Hanley is right back on the attack. McDonald the leader, running on old tires. Hanley running second. He's got new sneakers all the way around, and this should not be much of a contest as Hanley just drives to the inside in turn number 3.
Well, hold it now. Is he going to get by, though? Randy certainly went high and without a problem. Junior Hanley comes through. Now they get on the straightaway. Randy pulls ahead. Junior one more time down in the corner. He blows away. He's now back in front.
Well, Randy McDonald made the big gamble. He's trying to go the distance without a pit stop, hoping that track position could get him the victory, that he could hold off Junior Hanley and go the distance without a stop. That plan now is out the window. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to run with Hanley, as let's see it again. Junior Hanley very easily with the new tires on the right-hand side, just drives to the inside of Randy McDonald, forces him high on the front straightaway. It's all over. Hanley's the leader, and now Randy McDonald is back in second, and he's got to play the hand he was dealt. He's going to have to go the distance now and just see how much he can make out of it.
Well, let's see what that commitment is going to be. There's still a little bit of time to go, but it's Junior Hanley back in front with a brand new car one more time, a car that is proving itself here in Quebec today.
Not a bad maiden voyage for Junior Hanley, the Campbellville, Ontario veteran. 1-2 with Randy McDonald. There's Beaver Dragon and Russ Erlin, 3rd and 4th. Then Gord Bennett and Kevin LePage. That's a good battle for 3rd and 4th right now. Russ Erlin coming from the back of the pack after his pit stop, going to the outside of Beaver Dragon. These two drivers have won as many races as anybody on this Sanair Tri-Oval, and today the stronger car belongs to Erlin.
I'm still a little concerned. There have been years past where we've tended to ignore Russ perhaps a little earlier in one of these runs at Sanair, and I don't know, there's fading moments and Russ will suddenly step to the fore, and he's so close to that front.
He's a master of saving the automobile for showtime. In the final 30 or 40 laps, Erlin always comes to the front, and this may be the first move of the stretch drive for Russ Erlin. He does this the hard way. On the outside of Beaver Dragon, in that hard left-hand turn number 1, Erlin has got himself a very strong race car. He runs even with Dragon, then heading for the Tri-Oval. Dragon will have to touch the brakes. Erlin will stay on the outside, and he'll take over the number 3 position. There it is, Erlin with the momentum on the outside moving ahead.
You know, I've got to have just a little bit of hopeful thinking on Erlen's behalf. He's had such terrible luck up until this event. It looks like he's going to have one of those superb finishes here today.
Well, Russ Erlen will be the first to admit that the limited schedule in 1991 has hurt him. This is only the third event of the GM Motorsport Series, so it's only the third start of the year for Russ Erlen. Randy McDonald, as you heard him say earlier, Junior Hanley, Beaver Dragon, they've all run 6 or 7 races right now, and that's definitely advantage. Here's Robbie Crouch coming on pit road. Crouch, who has been back around the 10th or 12th position all day, did not qualify well, and now he's in the pits under green. This is definitely going to hurt his chances.
He's got to be the odd viewer wondering whatever happened to Robbie Crouch. We've watched almost this entire show, haven't heard much about him. He did not qualify well, Dave.
He did not. Ran back in the 13th spot at the start of the green flag and has not been too much further ahead than that. Here's Kevin LePage, and look at what this driver's fighting. That windshield is almost completely obscured with dirt and dust and oil. LePage is in trouble in the 21. He's drifted up and he's scrubbing the outside retaining wall. LePage and the Ford Thunderbird in all kinds of trouble, and chief starter John Hulbert has the yellow flag in hand once again.
He has to have scraped away a goodly amount of the paint, I would imagine, on the right-hand side of the car. I don't know that we'll get an outside look at this. We certainly hope so. Anyway, certainly tightens things up for Junior Hanley. Helps Randy McDonald. It helps Russ Erlen.
Kevin LePage is going to have to bring it on pit road. I would guess probably a right front or right rear tire is the problem. There's the LePage Motorsports crew. Danny Plowman is out on pit road as the car comes down. They've got the air wrenches in hand, and the tire change is the next order of the day. But LePage now is going to have his work cut out for him. He is going to have to go all the way to the back. He'll be the number 10 car. Even worse, the hood's going up.
Coming up. This is not a good sign. In fact, they're having a problem getting the hood up. They can't get the latches. No, they've
shut it down.
Look at this.
They've turned the car off on pit road, and they've got a serious problem under the front end of that machine. The way that right front tire is smoking, I would almost bet that they've smoked a wheel bearing on the right front corner.
With 2 of our front 10 here along pit row, we'll leave the crew to kind of look over the situation here for Kevin LePage and go to Eric to check on Robbie Crouch.
We're with the crew of number 48, Robbie Crouch. It hasn't been the best weekend for you guys.
No, not today anyways, that's for sure. We haven't really run good all weekend. I mean, we've been working hard at it, but just not our day.
Yeah, Robbie was saying he just couldn't find the problem with the car during the qualifying heats.
Yeah, just like I say, we've been working, changing all kinds of things, and it's just not really going any better. But
any possibility it was the late night last night?
I don't believe so. I mean, to be honest with you, the car really didn't get hurt last night's race. We just did general maintenance, basically. I don't really know what the problem is at this point.
For 48, Robbie Crouch, not a contender here, but for sure will be back.
These are the contenders. Our top 5, Junior Hanley, Randy McDonald, Russ Erlen, Beaver Dragon, and Gord Bennett holds in there.
We're in the pit of number 8, Russ Erlen. You chose to make a pit stop during the last yellow flag. Managed to gain a lot of spots back, though.
Yeah, the car's really working good now. We put a couple of new tires on the outside. He says it's working good, and he's starting to try and close the gap a little bit.
Can he catch Randy McDonald?
Yeah, I think so.
Can he catch Junior Hanley?
We'll see.
Russ likes this track.
Yeah, he runs really good here. He's very comfortable on the track.
Car's running okay?
Yeah, really good. Everything's under control.
Number 8, Russ Erlen, and everything is under control, they say.
So Ron goes back to work with the crew, and they look a little confident at this point as Junior Hanley puts down one more out on the track.
Russ Erlen running a solid third right now, but he's going to have to find an even higher gear as we've got about 10 laps remaining, and Junior Hanley is still laying waste to this field. He's going to put a lap on the 1X of Brad Layton. Right behind him, Robbie Crouch running slowly. Of course, Crouch is a lap or so down. Then Russ Erlen in hot pursuit of Randy McDonald. The 0-1 moving around the Brad Layton machine. Right behind him, Russ Erlen, but you can see the big advantage enjoyed by Junior Hanley.
Well, they may be passing this young man, but at least we got a glimpse of Layton, who's doing pretty well as far as Rookie of the Year honors are concerned, but these are the race leaders.
Randy McDonald running second, Russ Erlen running third, and it looks like that's going to be the battle over the final 10 circuits. Erlen is closing ground on McDonald, but first he's got to catch him, then he's got to pass him before he can worry about Junior Hanley. And Hanley right now seems to be just keeping the field at arm's length.
we've seen too many strange things happen in the world of motorsport. I'm one of that camp, I guess, Dave, that will certainly not give it to Hanley at this point. We've still got a lot of traffic to deal with. So many strange things can happen in our industry.
Indeed they can, and Randy McDonald is a prime candidate for disappointment right now. We'll remind you again, he has gone the distance on one tank of gasoline. The longest anyone has ever gone here at Sanair is 136 laps. He has already passed that threshold, so that car could burp and die at any time.
Did we not see Rolly McDonald suffer that sort of thing last year?
Exactly. Rolly McDonald led all the way to the final 2 laps, and then Junior Hanley passed him when the car ran out of fuel. Right now, Hanley is on his way. He's got at least a half a tank of gasoline in reserve. He's got fresh tires. Right behind him is Randy McDonald, who is just hoping right now to see the checkered flag before he runs out of petroleum.
Again, the race leaders here on the back straight, on the big tri-oval here at Sanair. It is Junior Hanley. What a great return to our series in 1991. And that second jewel in this Triple Crown, certainly within his grasp, but Randy still within striking distance.
An opportunity for a great day for Hanley. Not only can he take the second jewel of the Triple Crown and earn a $5,000 bonus, but he's got an opportunity to land a haymaker to the jaw of Robbie Crouch. Hanley came in with a very slim lead over Crouch in the GM Series standings. We've already documented the problems the Tampa Tornado has had today, and it looks like Hanley is right there to take advantage.
I was thinking about Randy. He had a little dabble at some other racing down at Daytona earlier this year. In fact, had a rather impressive 9th, but he has opted this year to stick with this series. Well, why not? You got to defend your title.
Well, Randy would be the first to admit that in years past he tried to do too many different things with too many different race cars and was never able to devote himself to one series. He's done that in 1990 and 91, and the results are apparent. Randy McDonald running in second, again praying for the gas gauge to stay above the empty mark, but so far he has not been able to reel in Junior Hanley, and the laps are winding down for the 72.
I don't know how I can sneak in a baseball note here, but I tell you...
Trouble in turn
Oh, no,
one.
we got a problem.
Right in front of the leaders. Junior Hanley goes high, McDonald goes high. It's Jean-Paul Cabana in the 5A, one of a number of cars that got out of shape. And my, oh my, we are going to have a shootout now. The 5A pointing in the wrong direction brings out the yellow. That's going to allow Randy McDonald and Russ Erland to close right up on the back bumper of Hanley.
Oh, goodness, what did the old master do? I'm not sure that we'll get another peek at this one. He brings the car around properly, and I think we'll attempt to at least finish here. We'll have a peek.
Jean-Paul Cabana running in a large pack of cars gets a bump from behind by, I believe, Roger LaPearl. The 5A goes broadside, and look at the cars scatter. Phil Pinkham absolutely sideways. Brad Layton down on the inside of the track along with Dan Beatty. And amazingly, everyone gets by the 5A of Cabana.
It's a marvelous evasive action there as Jean-Paul Cabana begins to wend his way back here. I think he will carry on in the race as opposed to heading back to his 1,800-acre farm. But after that incident, he may prefer to be out doing a little tilling today.
Up until now, the caution periods have been a break for Randy McDonald because laps run under caution take less gas, but the rest of the way will be run under green. Hanley, McDonald, and Erland set for the showdown.
Two laps left, a caution. You couldn't have asked for anything better.
Well, I'm not sure. I think they have to finish the last 5 under green. So we have to run 2 more laps yet. The motion, or Quaker State Motion Lincoln Mercury is working real well today.
Can you hold off McDonald?
Yes.
If they have to go the extra laps, do you think McDonald's car will have enough fuel?
It's got to be on empty now.
What about Erland? He's charging.
He's charging, but I believe we can hold him off.
Any problems with tires today?
Not really, no. We had 1 pit stop. We changed the right sides. They look pretty good. We tightened the car up a little bit. It's working real fine now.
You're darn close to $5,000.
1 more step closer to $50,000.
Compare that mood to this of the Randy McDonald team. There seems to be a little apprehension here.
Well, indeed there should be. McDonald, with every passing lap, has a chance of running out of gasoline at any moment. Hanley, McDonald, and Erland, the top 3. But don't count out Beaver Dragon or Gordy Bennett. They've got a break now on this caution flag as well.
Back in the pace car. Field comes through. Look at this. Junior Hanley just jumps into it. Actually, so does Randy. Does not let Junior get away.
It's going to be a green, white, and checkered flag situation. 2 laps to go, and Hanley immediately pulls away at the drop of the green flag. Junior Hanley in the 72, clearly the class of the field here in the late going. McDonald hanging on to second, Erlin still third. Everybody's got a bit of a pad right now. Hanley with a good advantage. Erlin is the question. Can he catch McDonald? White flag will come out this time.
I would think the green mini giant is worth keeping an eye on here as we get down to the real crunch in this race. He surprised us in the past, but this is it. The white flag is up.
White flag, final lap. And the top three cars have bunched it up in turn number one. Down the back straightaway, Hanley holding the lead. McDonald in second, Erlin is third, and it looks like, amazingly, McDonald is going to make it home without the benefit of a pit stop. Final time down the short chute, heading into turn number three. Junior Hanley in the 72 machine can see the checkered flag. Leg number two of the Triple Crown, the GM Pro Shop 150 goes to Junior Hanley.
And Randy McDonald finishes the race. This may be one of the most surprising elements of all today, outside of Junior's victory.
Well, it's a first, I'll tell you that. Nobody has ever made it, but Randy McDonald sets a new standard for gas mileage here today. McDonald goes the distance, and I'm sure he's going to be, well, rather happy with second. I know he wanted to win the show, but Junior Hanley today had it well hooked up at the front.
There they are, the race champions. Here are the final standings. Hanley, McDonald, Erlin, Dragon, and Bennett a nice fifth.
Let's go to victory lane with Eric.
Congratulations, Junior Hanley. Race number 3 is yours, and most importantly, the second jewel of the Triple Crown.
Yeah, all we have is another one to do, but that will be a lot harder.
$5,000 bonus today. What about the next time around?
Well, it'll be a nice bonus, but it's it's a lot of good cars, and it's real hard to win a race. When you got a lot of competition, and there's a lot of competition in this series, and it's really hard to win.
Tough race. Had two very fast guys in your butt the whole day.
Yeah, like Randy and Russ and Beaver and all them guys were fast. Robbie had trouble, but Robbie would have been fast too.
You got a new car out there.
Yeah, this was a brand new car. We got it from Port City as like a sponsorship deal. We never ever had a car from anybody before, and we were going to run the old car here, but we got it banged up pretty good last night, so we just pushed this car out of the trailer, and this was the first time we run it, so it really run good.
No problems with it?
No, it run good.
Congratulations again, Junior Hanley.
Thank you.
Winner at Sanair Superspeedway, event number 3.
Here are the figures that show you Junior's total domination in the last two events, leading 133 laps.
133 out of 150 laps. That's not too bad a showing for Junior Hanley at car number 72. The point standings, Hanley on top now with a big advantage over Robbie Crouch. McDonald moves up to third, and then Derek Lynch and Harmon Beaver Dragon.
Well, not only great weather here at Sanair, the big super speedway in Quebec, but a marvelous competition today, but we pretty well picked them, David.
Indeed we did. The folks we figured on being up front at the end were up front. Junior Hanley, when you come to Sanair, he's the man to beat.
He wanted that extra money today, though, I think.
He did. A $5,000 bonus in his pocket now. One more race down the road, he could pocket $50,000.
How did Randy McDonald last this entire 150 laps without a stop?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not so sure. Not only did he go the distance on 22 gallons of fuel, but he went the distance on 4 tires with Russ Erlin breathing down his neck the whole way.
You know, Russ almost had it today. Gord Bennett made a nice return in our race scene.
He did indeed. He's a hard charger. He loves these big tracks.
We'll be back in St. Croix, Quebec. That's going to be a good race. Do join us. As we look at the top 10 of the GM Pro Shop 150 here at Sanair, that's it for Eric Hollow down in pit row and Dave Moody. I'm Jim Paulson saying farewell. The GM Motorsport Hour has been brought to you by General Motors of Canada Limited. Quality GM parts, the expert choice. And by Sony, the one and only. This program is copyright and is strictly for the use of our audience. Any reproduction in whole or in part is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of the GM Motorsport Hour.